name is Masha and today I want to show you the top 10 bracelets that I've made in 2022. These are not in any particular order, these are just some of my favorites. In fact, I actually found it quite difficult to select just 10. I made a good chunk of bracelets this year and I've loved really every single one that I've done. So this was a challenge in itself. Speaking of challenges, I did a bracelet wrap-up a few months back where I gave you guys a challenge and I haven't done a wrap-up since. And since this is technically a wrap-up, we're going to be looking at the bracelets that you guys made for the challenge at the end of this video, and I'm going to be giving you a new challenge until my next wrap-up video, which will hopefully be January. I have some plans for next year and a New Year's resolution that we're also going to be talking about at the end of the video. But let's first look at my top 10 bracelets. We're starting off strong with this bracelet. This bracelet was part of the 24-hour bracelet challenge that I did earlier this year. I'll leave that video linked in the card and in the description. That was a fun video to make. But I also filmed the entire process of it for a Not With Me, which will also be linked in the description if you want to watch me actually create this bracelet. I love this one. I don't typically love bracelets that are like super repetitive, and this one is. Like, looking closer at the pattern, you can see that it is a very repetitive pattern. There's not much to it. It is a very short repetition, which, as I said, I don't typically enjoy, but for some reason it just worked for me. I think maybe because there were so many colors, I really wanted to see how the bracelet kind of turns out with all the colors blending together, but also I just really love the colors. I feel like they're all really rich and they work really well together, and I ended up just having a blast making this bracelet, and also I just love staring at it. So this has a well-deserved spot on my top 10 list of 2022. Next up, we have a wall hanging, not a bracelet technically, and I literally finished this like 2 days ago, but I know for a fact this is making my top 10 of the year, and it is this one. It is a wall hanging of the cover of my book. Is that not crazy? I feel like that is. If you don't know, I wrote a book. It's called The Beginner's Guide to Friendship Bracelets, and it's a collection of photo tutorials aimed at beginners. It teaches you all the way from the basics to more advanced stuff. In fact, it has all of the basic information that you need to know to actually make a wall hanging of your own. Obviously, you need to work up to that, but it has all the information there for you. It is available for purchase worldwide, and you can buy it anywhere you typically buy books, but there is also a direct purchase link in the description if you want to use that. One of you guys created a pattern based on the cover of my book, which I am so grateful for, because that is such a cool thing to have happened. And I knew I had to make it as soon as I saw it, so I made this monster. It's huge! This thing has over 50 bass strings and it uses 22 colors. It took me nearly 13 hours to make this thing. And you know what? I filmed the entire process of me making this for a Not With Me, which is either coming out soon or already out. In that case, I'll leave it linked in the description. And if you want to see some behind the scenes of me making this as well, there is also a vlog that will also be linked if it's out already. I'm pre-filming some videos because I'm actually going to see my sister for Christmas and New Year's, so I don't know in which order they will be coming out, but I'll figure it out. And this is what the back looks like, in case you wanted to see that. It did look a little bit messy, especially at the bottom here, where there was a lot of strings dragging across from side to side. I did have to cut them and then clean that up because it was annoying me. But I love this thing. It's genuinely super cool, and I'm so glad I made it. Definitely in my top 10 for the year, and probably top 10 for literally anything I've ever created, so yay! The next bracelet on my top 10 might actually surprise you. It's not something that I would have thought would make a top 10, but I was looking through the bracelets that I made this year and I just couldn't not single these out. In fact, it's more than one bracelet, it's a couple, but it's the same pattern, so I feel like it qualifies. The candy stripe bracelet. You know what? It's weird. It is weird, but genuinely, this one is so much floppier than the other one for some reason. I can genuinely say this was my top 10 of the year. I had a blast making these. I made these for a tutorial. I don't typically make candy stripe bracelets because, I mean, they're boring to me at this point. It's just a bunch of forward knots in a row. But I made these for a tutorial, and not only did I just have a fun time making them, because sometimes, you know, it turns out it's quite nice to just relax and just make a bunch of forward knots, but also I really like the colors that I used here, and I ended up wearing these. I actually wore these out quite a bit over the summer. Not so much in the winter because can't see my wrists anyway, I'm all bundled up, but over the summer I did wear these quite a bit, and I had a good time. So this made me realize that sometimes I need to go back to the basics and just do a bunch of candy stripes. So that was fun. Next up, we have a bracelet that I made way early on in the year. In fact, I made it for Valentine's Day, and it's this one. It's a cute alpha bracelet of two little elephants that are in love, and I think it's so cute. I've actually had this bracelet pattern on my to-do list for ages, and I finally got around to doing it this year, and I love it. It's so cute. And this is what the back looks like. As I said, I made this for Valentine's Day, and there is actually a Not With Me for this one as well if you want to watch that. And you want to see me create this bracelet because it was a cute one. It also just turned out really well. Like, it's really flat and straight and I like it. Next up, we've got the Sunburst bracelet. I just really love the pattern for this. I also made this for the 24-hour bracelet challenge, and it was definitely a fun one to make during that. But I love the pattern. It's also very reminiscent of the Starburst bracelet. I made tutorials for both this and the Starburst, by the way, which will be linked in the description. But it does look like a sun, and I think the colors as well, they're very summery, they're very vibrant. I just love the colors of this thing. Like, look at it, isn't it so cool? I love the colors, and I also really enjoy whenever I have like a bracelet like this to separate the white or the black or whatever other color I have from the color strings in the ties so that I can have them separately. I love how it turned out. I think I really enjoyed all of the bracelets that I did during my 24-hour challenges, but this one might be my favorite because it was great. I really enjoyed this one. And I'm glad I could fit in 5 separate suns. I feel like that's a lot. Next up, we've got a gorgeous alpha, and it is this one. I have a thing for plants. I really like plants, and I really like how this turned out. It reminds me of a bracelet that I did earlier, like a few years back. I actually think I filmed this one for a Not With Me as well, and I think in that Not With Me, I was also talking about the fact that this reminds me of an earlier pattern that I have it right here. I can show you. Reminds me of this pattern. I'll leave both of these linked in the description. But yeah, I really liked this pattern when I made it originally a few years back, and I had a lot of fun with this one. I just like plants, they're great. This is what it looks like up close, and it's just a fun bracelet that I made. And this is the back, a little messy and a little fluffy, but that's what it looks like. Moving on, we've got another alpha bracelet, and it's this one. And you can see that the ties of it are kind of curled. That's because I actually wore this one. I wore this one quite a bit over the summer as well. I had a lot of fun with it. I really love the pattern. I've actually had that pattern on my to-do list as well for a really long time, and I had great fun making it. It took me forever to pick out the colors. I wanted a specific shade, and I feel like the berries here turned out to be a little bit more purple than blue, which I love. This is what it looks like up close, and as I said, I absolutely love this pattern. It was a blast to make, it looks fantastic, and I wore this one quite a bit over the summer as well. And this is what the back looks like for that. I filmed this one for a Not With Me as well. There is a video of me knotting this from start to finish if you want to watch that. I'll leave that linked as well. Only 3 left to go, but as I said, these are in no particular order. Next up, we've got this one. The Twisted Labyrinth bracelet is what I called it for the Not With Me video that I did. So if you want to watch that Not With Me, it'll be linked in the description as well. I really enjoyed this bracelet. As I said, I don't really love normal patterns that have a ton of repetition. Typically, sometimes I do, as we saw with the first one, but I don't typically enjoy that, and this one doesn't have a lot of repetition. It has like a really wide repetition thing. I don't know how to say it in English, but point is I can only like fit 3 of the designs in here, so it was really fun to knot because I was trying to figure out what it's going to end up looking like as I was making it, and it was a blast. I also just really like how it turned out. I love the colors and I love the pattern itself. I think it looks gorgeous together, and I had so much fun making this bracelet. And if you can tell, I changed it up a little bit at the beginning and at the end, so it kind of matches the triangle ends, because normally the design sort of for that middle part would look like this, like kind of like a cross shape-ish, but I modified it a little bit so it actually fits with the triangle ends. I think that worked really well. Next up, we've got the herringbone bracelet, for which I did a tutorial, so you can learn how to make this bracelet yourself if you want to. I'll leave that linked in the description. I really like this bracelet. I think it looks super cute. I love the colors, and I also just like the customizability of it because you can do any kind of color combination with it, but I specifically like this one as well. I love the design. It's super simple to make. It's like not overtly complicated, and I think it just looks great. I had a lot of fun making this, and I love it. This is what it looks like up close, and this is another instance of me sort of separating the colors from the white here. I think it looks great in twisted ties, and this bracelet, I just love it a lot. It's great. I really recommend making this pattern if you're looking for something new. And last but not least, we have another pattern. It's actually a collection of 2 bracelets. we have this bracelet, which if you don't know, this is the bracelet pattern that I used for the challenge in my last wrap-up video. Let me give you a quick look at the bracelets that I created. I absolutely love this. It's actually the same sort of multicolored string, both in this bracelet and in this bracelet, but with the background string being so different, the bracelets themselves turned out to be so different as well. I love it. I had a blast making it, and oh my god, I can see cat hairs in it because I was in Russia at the time where I have my cats. Oof. That is a problem when you have animals, but we love them nonetheless. Anyway, I loved this pattern so much. It was so much fun to make that I decided to make it a challenge, and you guys really took it and ran with it. You made so many beautiful bracelets with this pattern as well. I had so much fun looking at them, and I'm so glad that I could bring these challenges back, even in some capacity. I know I don't do wrap-ups as regularly as I used to. I used to do them monthly, and I don't do that anymore, but I'm glad that we were able to bring back the challenge, at least in some capacity, to make a bracelet together, and I'm so happy that you guys made this as well. I hope you enjoyed the pattern. I hope you enjoyed the challenge. I definitely had a blast looking through these, and I hope you stick around to listen to my plans for next year and my plans for the next challenge, because I have some thoughts. So first, let's talk a little bit about my plans for next year. I made many more bracelets this year than I did the year before, and I'm super happy with that. I'm actually really happy with the amount of bracelets that I made this year. I'm really proud of myself, and I had a blast making them, which is the most important part. But I think I could do better. I think I could make even more bracelets than I did this year by the end of next year. And you know what my plan is for that? My plan is to create a bracelet tracker for myself. So you might know if you watch my vlogs that one of my other hobbies is reading, and with my reading, I track it like crazy. In fact, I have 4 separate trackers that I use to track my reading, which is a little bit overkill, but still. And I created my own Google Sheet where I track my reading, and I look at like the dates that I started, the dates that I finished, how long it took me, like my reading speed, all of that. I have like a bunch of different statistics and numbers that I pull out from all of that information. And I thought, I enjoy that so much. In fact, it motivates me to read more just because I love looking at the stats that I get from that. I thought I could translate that into the world of friendship bracelets and make my own Google Sheet tracking my bracelets. So I did just that. In fact, you can watch that in my latest vlog if you want sort of a more in-depth look at what I'm talking about and sort of a behind the scenes look at how I did it. But point is, I now have a tracker sheet to track both my normal and my alpha friendship bracelets. And within that, I want to do a challenge for next year, and I want to see how long it takes me to make 100 bracelets. And I say that, I'm not confident that I'm going to do that within the span of a year. 100 bracelets is a lot of bracelets. There's only, what, 365 days in the year, so 100 bracelets is a lot. But I want to do it. I want to see how long it takes me, even if it does take me longer than a year, even if it takes me several years. I want to see how long it takes me to do 100 bracelets, because that is just a satisfying number, and I want to see how quickly I can do that. Not that it's going to be a race, it's just I want to see how long it will take me in my everyday life. So with that, I'm going to be tracking, which will hopefully be motivating me to make more bracelets in general, and I will be doing this challenge behind the scenes for however long it takes me. So point is, I hopefully am going to be making more bracelets next year. Maybe not 100 in a year, but just more. So I'm hoping that there will be more wrap-ups, and even if I can't do wrap-ups every month, I'm going to aim to at least do wrap-ups quarterly, so every 3 months. So I'm going to give you guys a challenge now, and that's going to be for the next wrap-up, which will hopefully come within the first 3 months at some point of the year. So for this first challenge of 2023, I want you to make a normal friendship bracelet that is 16 strings and under, that has at least 4 colors, 2 of them being blue and green. You can do anything you want with that, literally anything, as long as it meets that criteria. To submit for the challenge, take a picture of your bracelet, upload it to Instagram or to my Discord server, which is linked in the description. And if you're using Instagram, use 2 hashtags. Use hashtag #NotWithMasha and hashtag #NotWithMasha Jan23 for January of 23. If you're submitting through the Discord server, there is a separate channel that is specifically for the challenge, where you can upload your pictures to as well. This is a challenge, not a competition. There isn't anything to win, but this is a really fun way for us to get together and create bracelets together, because I will also be participating in the challenge. I don't know an end date for this. There is no current end date. As I said, the next wrap-up I'm aiming to post within the first 3 months of the year, so if it's past March of 2023, then the challenge has been closed, but I'll leave a pinned comment under this video once the challenge is closed. So if it's before March of 2023 and also you don't see a pinned comment, then the challenge is open. And I really do hope that you will participate. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Happy holidays, everyone, and let me know what your New Year's resolution is gonna be, because I am curious. My book, The Beginner's Guide to Friendship Bracelets, is now out worldwide, and you can purchase it wherever you typically buy books. There is also a direct link in the description if you want to get it there. Thank you so much to my patrons, and especially my top supporters. It is with your help that I'm able to create the videos that I do for this channel. And if you also want to become a patron, there's a link in the description for you to do that. But in any case, thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys next year. Bye!